My girlfriend asked for a break to find herself. I gave her 1 week to leave my house. She came back 3 weeks later, begging. But I discovered she lied to me and her Tinder lover and exposed them both. I'm 29 years old. I work in it for a pretty decent software company, and about 6 months ago, I ended a 5-year relationship in the most anticlimactic way possible. I mean, at least without any drama on my part. The story is kind of long, but worth telling because it's basically about not being anyone's plan B, and I think a lot of people need to hear this. My ex was named Olivia. We were together since I was 24, and honestly, I thought we were serious. You know, like marriage eventually, kids, the whole thing. We lived together in my house, which I bought when I was 26 with my own money after saving like crazy for years, and she moved in with me about a year and a half into dating. Everything was going well, or so I thought, until one night at dinner she dropped the bomb on me. It was a normal Tuesday, nothing special. I had made pasta because it was my turn to cook, and we were sitting there eating and talking about whatever, when suddenly she gets serious and tells me, "I need to talk to you about something important." And I just sat there with my fork in my hand thinking, well, here it comes. She probably wants to talk about marriage or moving to a bigger house or something like that. But no, she tells me. I think I need a break. I need time to find myself, to figure out who I am without being in a relationship. And I just stared at her like, seriously? After 5 years? Now you need to find yourself? I asked her what exactly she meant by a break, and she gave me all that garbage about, it's not that I don't love you, I just need space. I need to explore. I need to know if this is really what I want. Basically the whole classic speech of someone who wants to try other people, but keep the option to come back if it doesn't work out, you know what I mean? The thing is, I didn't get angry. I didn't yell. I didn't make drama. I simply put down my fork, looked her straight in the eyes, and told her, okay, you can have your break. But if we're going to do this, then this is a definitive breakup, not a break. I explained to her that I wasn't going to be her plan B. I wasn't going to sit around waiting while she went out to do whatever she wanted to do, and that if she really wanted this, then she had to leave my house. She was surprised. I think she expected me to beg or tell her, yes, take your time, my love. I'll wait here for you. But that wasn't going to happen. I gave her a week to pack her things and leave, and I told her that once she walked out that door, there was no going back. Olivia cried, obviously. She tried to convince me that it was just a temporary break, that it wasn't necessary to be so drastic, that we could handle it in a more mature way. And I told her, this is mature. I'm not going to live in limbo waiting for you to decide whether you want to be with me or not. Either you're with me or you're not. There's no middle ground. I think deep down she thought I was going to change my mind, that I was going to regret it and call her begging her to come back. But literally none of that happened. She packed her things over the next few days, crying dramatically the whole time, and went to live with her sister. I helped her pack some boxes, completely calm, and when she closed the door behind her, I felt more relief than sadness. To be honest, Nathan, my best friend since college, came over that night with beer and pizza, asked me how I was doing, and I honestly told him I was fine, that I was surprisingly okay. He knew Olivia, obviously, and told me he always thought she was kind of selfish, that it was always about what she wanted, and that I probably did the right thing. My sister also fully supported me, told me she was proud that I hadn't let myself be manipulated, and that women like Olivia always come back when they realize the grass isn't greener on the other side. And she was right, but we'll get to that. The first 2 weeks after she left were weird. I'm not going to lie. The house felt empty. I missed having someone to talk to after work. I missed certain moments. But I didn't miss her specifically, you know? I missed the idea of having a partner, the companionship, but every time I thought about Olivia as a person, I remembered all the things about her that bothered me that I had ignored for years. Like how she always had to be the center of attention, or how she manipulated situations to get her way, or how she never paid her fair share of things because, you know, I earned more, so it was fair that I paid more according to her. Things that when you're in love you ignore, but later you realize were giant red flags. During the first 3 weeks I focused on myself, started going to the gym more often, picked up some hobbies I had dropped, hung out more with Nathan and other friends. And this is where it gets interesting. Barbara, my neighbor, who's like 60 years old and is kind of nosy but in a good way, started telling me she was seeing Olivia around town with different guys. The first time was at the downtown Starbucks, then at an Italian restaurant, then at the movies. And I just thought, well, that was fast. But it's fine. She wanted her break to explore, and that's what she's doing. Nathan also told me that a friend of a friend saw her at a bar, making out with someone. And honestly, it didn't affect me as much as I thought it would. Like, I felt an initial pang of, wow, okay. But then it was like, meh, not my problem anymore. 3 weeks passed, almost 4, when I received a text message from Olivia. It said something like, hey, can we talk? I miss you. I think I made a mistake. And I just stared at the message thinking, here we go. I replied that we could meet, but just to talk, nothing more. We agreed to meet at the park near my house, on a Saturday afternoon. She arrived in jeans and a blouse. Obviously, she had gotten dressed up and sat on the bench next to me. She started with the whole speech about how she missed me so much that the break had helped her realize that I was the one, that she had been a fool, that she wanted to try again. And I let her talk. I let her say everything she had to say. And when she finished, I simply told her, no. I explained to her that I had been very clear when she left, that it wasn't a break, but a breakup, and that I wasn't going to be her second choice after she tried other guys and it didn't work out. She tried to deny it, said it hadn't been like that she had only gone out with a friend a couple of times but nothing had happened. And I told her, Olivia, I don't care if something happened or not. The point is that you chose to leave. You chose to look for something better, and now that you didn't find it, you want to come back. That's not love. That's convenience. She started to cry, told me I was misinterpreting her, that she really loved me, and I got up from the bench and told her, I wish you the best, Olivia, but this is over. And I walked away. I didn't look back. I didn't run after her. I just left. The following days were quiet. I continued with my normal life, working from home some days and going to the office others. I still had some of Olivia's things in my house, like clothes she had left, some books, random stuff. I packed them all in 2 boxes and took them to her sister's house on a Saturday morning. Her sister opened the door, saw me with the boxes and just said, I understand, and took them without saying much more. I felt free after that, like I was officially closing that chapter. About 6 weeks had passed since Olivia left when I received a message from an unknown number. The message said, Hi, Connor. My name is Justin. You don't know me, but I dated Olivia. I need to talk to you. It's important. And I thought, this is weird. But I replied asking him what it was about. He insisted that we meet in person, that he preferred to talk face to face. We agreed to meet at a cafe near my work the next day. Justin was a guy about my age, maybe a year or 2 older. He looked nervous when he arrived. We sat down, and he started telling me his story. Turns out, Justin met Olivia on Tinder about 2 weeks after she and I broke up. During her supposed break to find herself. They started dating. Things were going well, or so he thought. And after about 3 weeks of seeing each other, she told him she needed to be honest with him, that she was on a break with her boyfriend, but was considering ending it officially to be with Justin. He told me that seemed weird to him, but Olivia assured him that she and I weren't working out anymore, and it was just a matter of time before we officially broke up. What Justin didn't know is that I had already told Olivia we were done, that there was no break. She lied to him, saying we still had a chance to work things out, but that she wanted to be with Justin, and she lied to me saying she had only gone out with a friend and nothing had happened. Justin showed me text messages between him and Olivia where she clearly said romantic things to him, sent him photos, told him she missed him. And he also showed me messages from when she told him she had talked to me and that I didn't want her back, that I was an idiot who didn't value what I had. Basically, Olivia was playing both of us, keeping us as options, and when I rejected her at the park, she ran back to Justin, telling him I was the bad guy in the story. But Justin is smart. He started noticing inconsistencies in Olivia's stories, realized she was still talking to me according to what she told him, but the timelines didn't add up, and eventually discovered that she was basically manipulating both of us. I thanked Justin for telling me all this, told him I appreciated his honesty and that I was sorry he had also been a victim of Olivia's manipulation. He told me he had ended things with her the previous week, that when he confronted her, she cried and told him she was confused and needed time, the same speech she had given me. We laughed at how absurd. The situation was like, this woman really thought she could handle two guys at the same time and get away with it. Justin and I didn't become best friends or anything like that, but we wished each other luck and each went on with our lives. After that conversation with Justin, I started receiving an avalanche of messages from Olivia. Like, long messages where she explained that it had all been a misunderstanding, that Justin was lying, that she had never taken him seriously, that I was the only one who mattered. She called me like 20 times in 2 days. I didn't answer any of them. She sent me emails, messages on social media that I had to block. And then, about 2 weeks after the conversation with Justin, Olivia showed up at my house on a Friday night. She rang the doorbell, and there she was, crying, with red eyes, asking me to let her in so we could talk. I told her through the door that we had nothing to talk about, that everything had already been said. She insisted, said she, had handled everything wrong, that she was sorry, that she would do anything to fix it. And I opened the door, stood in the doorway and told her, Olivia, I don't know how to make it any clearer to you, but this is over. There's no going back. No matter how much you cry or how much you insist, you and I are done, period. She tried to hug me. I took a step back and told her to leave, that if she didn't leave, I was going to call the police for harassment. That stopped her cold. She just stood there staring at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing, and then she turned around and went to her car crying. That was the last time I saw her in person. She kept sending some messages during the following weeks, but I never responded. Eventually, she stopped trying. According to Barbara, my nosy neighbor, Olivia started dating another guy about a month later, and according to Nathan, who heard it from someone else, that guy also left her after a short time. The truth is, I stopped paying attention to what was happening with her. It wasn't my problem or my responsibility anymore. The following months were probably the best I'd had in years. I started traveling more. Went to Costa Rica with Nathan and other friends. I planned a trip to Europe for the following year. At work, they gave me a promotion and a considerable raise. I bought a new car, like a 2024 Honda Accord that I had been wanting. I dated some girls casually, nothing serious, but I had fun and met interesting people. Basically, I got my life back and realized how much I had been accommodating my life around Olivia and her needs during those 5 years. My sister visited me about 4 months after all the drama. We sat on my patio drinking beer, and she told me she could see I was genuinely happy, that she hadn't seen me like that since before I met Olivia. And she was right. I felt free. I felt like myself again. Nathan also commented that it was like the old Connor was back, the one who was more relaxed and fun. And I realized that during those 5 years with Olivia, I had lost part of myself trying to please her and keep the peace. And now I was finally getting that part back. About 6 months after everything ended, Barbara came to knock on my door one afternoon with her typical, I want to tell you something energy. She told me she had seen Olivia the day before at the supermarket, and she looked terrible, like gaunt and sad. Apparently, Olivia had told someone Barbara knows that she had lost her job at the marketing company where she worked. I don't know if they fired her or she quit, and that she had moved to a kind of crappy apartment on the other side of town because she couldn't afford anything better. Barbara asked me if I felt bad for her, and I honestly told her no, that I felt everyone is responsible for their own decisions, and Olivia had made hers. Now I'm 29 years old, almost 30. I'm considering buying a bigger house as an investment. My career is going great. I have plans to travel to Japan next summer. I've been casually dating someone for about 2 months. Nothing serious yet, but it has potential, and she's a completely different person from Olivia, someone who has her stuff together and doesn't play games. The story with Olivia taught me that you should never accept being anyone's plan B, that self-respect is worth more than any relationship, and that it's okay to set firm boundaries even when it hurts. I don't regret anything I did. I think I handled the situation exactly as it should have been handled, and if I found myself in the same situation again, I would do exactly the same thing.